ushering in the new year of the tiger, the water tiger, and welcoming the flip, essentially, from last year's ox, metal ox energy into the water tiger. So as we welcome in this new year, we're setting up the pattern for forward trajectory and new beginnings. So this week we're going to play with opening up the microcosmic orbit. I have some really great adjunctive material on this that I'll post in the comments so you guys can go check out, and some deeper dives to deeper dive practices of seated and standing microcosmic orbit meditation. But for today, we're going to do our yin practice, which is going to open up the back of the spine, and we're going to turn that into a standing rotation of the microcosmic orbit Qi Gong practice. So today we're going to open up using actually two different acupuncture points. One is going to be urinary bladder 23. So this point will start by just kind of massaging in to the low back. You can see here in the diagram where these points lie next to the spine. They're direct access to the kidneys. So this is kind of like the direct link into kidney energy, which we've been talking a lot about kidney energy this winter. And activating this point is really powerful for the beginning of this microcosmic orbit practice, because the kidneys rule the modulation of yin and yang in our nervous system as well as our full body. So connecting in here is going to give us direct access to those energies. So just opening up that a little bit more, taking a big breath into that kidney area, urinary bladder 23. And then we're also going to work with kidney 27. So this point, if we were above the collarbone, we're going to drop down, and those little divots that are lateral to the sternum is where kidney 27 is. This point actually opens up the entire shoe points. So all of those circuit breaker points that we've worked with in our past practices to connect to our emotions and our organs, vital energies, this is going to help us in the turtle practice to actually open up our spine so we can get the most out of our microcosmic orbit Qi Gong. So just another breath here. And we'll be ready to get into turtle. So we've used this point before, or we've used this shape before, but if this is the first time you guys are joining us, the way we get into turtle is, instead of being in a butterfly position, we're going to bring our feet out into a diamond. Hands are going to come under the feet, and then I like to bring a bolster here for my head to rest so that I have space to open up the back of my spine. So just noticing where you're at in space, setting up. Remember, the bolster brings the earth closer to the body, so setting up this condition for transformation and releasing into the shape. As you feel the awareness of the body settling into the shape, adjusting any subtle movements that you need. And then allowing the breath to emerge. And for today's practice, we're going to actually trace the breath up the back of the spine, over the crown of the head, and returning down the front of the spine all the way back to the tailbone. The pathway of the circuit of the microcosmic orbit connects the, what we call Ren or Yin, and Du or Yang channels. Notice that each breath becomes a little more smooth, flowing and following that circuit up the back, down the front.
Just noting any areas that are ready to open and lengthen, release and return. Drawing up yang energy up the back, active energy around the crown of the head, and releasing yin energy, returning back to the root. This beautiful harmony, equalizing yin and yang in the body. Spend just about one more minute here. Last 3 full body breaths. And once the third breath is complete,
you can gently rise up. Taking a moment to just continue to follow that circuit up the back, down the front. Preparing us for our microcosmic orbit Qi Gong practice, transitioning into a standing space. Now that we've found our way to standing, we're going to continue to work with the rotation of the microcosmic orbit. Again, this is such a powerful way to reset the yin and yang function of the body and restore harmony to the overall system. Most of our disease states come from an imbalance of yin and yang. So doing this practice regularly will help to support harmony and flow between those two primary forces. To get started with this practice, we're actually going to open up the Ren, which is the yin energy, and the Du, which is the yang energy that runs as a circuit around our spine, creating this kind of like universal figure eight, infinite symbol. And so to open up the Ren energy is the front of the spine. We're going to work with lung 7. So this is the master point for the Ren channel. So to just direct you to massage into the inside of the arm, you could feel there's like this thing they call it the snuff box. And just here above that is lung 7. This activates and opens up that yin energy through the front of the spine. So go ahead and do that on both sides. Take a breath into the front of the spine. And then to open up the Du channel, which is the yang energy that runs the back of the spine, we're going to use small intestine 3, which is just here at the pinky line below where the finger connects to the knife edge of the hand. So this opens up the Du channel, Take your breath into the back of the spine. And go ahead and open up the other side. And just feel the awareness of that connection as we get ready to welcome in our microcosmic orbit Qi Gong practice. So for this, we're going to sink our weight into the right. We're going to C-step into a bow stance, sinking but allowing equal distribution of weight to start, and then making sure that the hips, the pelvis is turned towards the front leg. So we're lining ourselves up this way. We're going to inhale, sinking the weight back. Inhale up the back of the spine, around the crown. Exhale, weight shifts forward. Drop the energy down the front of the spine. Smoothing the flow of energy between yin and yang. Inhaling up, yang. Exhaling, falling down again. Last pass through. Sinking the weight back to the center, C-stepping back into neutral. And we're going to move to the opposite direction. Weight equally distributed. Inhale, sink weight to the back. Up the back of the spine. Exhale, down the front of the spine. Last pass through. Coming back into neutral. And we'll go ahead and just connect back into these points. Inhale up the back of the spine as we connect with lung 7. And exhale down the front of the spine as we connect with small intestine 3. We'll finish with a little bit of a bouncing practice to just let any of that energy that got released and redistributed to reconnect, kind of degauss through our system. Soft, bouncing with the whole body loose. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, let that vertebrae as you drop through the heels and shake the whole body. We'll close our practice as normal, settling into the lower Dantian region. And massaging that energy one direction. distributing it and harmonizing any space that your body needs a little extra support. I hope you guys can share your experience this week. Also, feel free to check out the Mastering Your Stress course. If you have an annual membership to Reset and Recalibrate, you have access to that course, which has all kinds of deep dive lectures, meditations, and additional practices to connect into the microcosmic orbit. Share with us how you're feeling, tell a friend, and welcome in 2022, Year of the Tiger. Coming soon, be wellness.